Welcome to Woodland Permaculture. I'm Jenny Wood, and I am going to start my third strawberry project. This is the third time I've tried strawberries, and the first two failed. So this is the good, the bad, and the ugly of woodland. The first time I just tried to plant them in the ground around my fire pit, and ants got to them. So the next time I thought, let's go vertical. And I got a pallet, and I did one of those DIY projects where you fill the pallet with soil and then put the plants in the cracks of the pallet. But those suckers, I don't think either got enough water or something. Anyway, they all just died. Even though there's plenty of weeds in there, lots of weeds happened in that pallet, but the strawberry plants died. So this time I am trying a DIY strawberry tower. And I'm getting the instructions from an article online, and I will put the link to that article in the description of this video. And it's basically 4 of these planters piled on top of one another with a water reservoir in the top that helps water all of them. And so we're going to hope that this time it works, and we shall see. Anything else? Let me just go through the things that I'm using. I mentioned the pots that I'm going to be using. I have a bunch of soil that is a combination of potting soil, compost, and some of the actual soil from my garden, and hopefully that will be good soil for them. The reservoir is going to be made out of this 1 liter water bottle. It's one that I had that I used to use a lot, but the top got kind of melted and bent, and so I don't use it very much anymore, but it should be pretty good for this project. So, and then I have my handy dandy drill, my drill bits, and a hole drill. I can't remember exactly what size. The instructions call for 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches actually, and I think this is about the right size. So let's get started, and we'll see if this works. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is prepare each of the 4 pots per the instructions. And the first thing they say to do is to drill the holes into the sides. They want 12 equally spaced holes around each one of these. Once I'm done with that, I'm also going to drill holes in the bottom. These pots have holes in the bottom, but they're at the side, and the instructions say that if that happens, you should punch some holes in the bottom, and I think that's to make sure water goes through fairly evenly. So here we go. Here goes nothing. Oh yeah. I need a thing to pop these guys out. There we go. There's one. Okay, step 1's done. I like to affectionately call this area the environmental disaster area because of all the microplastics I have created. As you can see, I put down a plastic sheet for easy cleanup and hopefully to keep these microplastics out of my garden. I'm also going to grab a sandpaper really quick and just kind of sand these edges just a little bit because they are full of little plastics hanging off of them. Alright, here we go. Just gonna do a little bit of this around these edges. It'd be nice to keep this plastic out of the strawberries too. should do it for the sanding. And the next step is going to be preparing the reservoir out of the water bottle. Okay, time to do the reservoir. Now the instructions say to cut off the bottom and then leave the top on tightly. So, and it's going to go into the pot like this with the bottom cut off. But I figure if we're going to put the top on anyway, why don't I cut off this wonky top instead, and then the bottom's already closed. And then of course I'm supposed to drill a bunch of holes in it to let the water seep out slowly. So first thing to do is to cut this top off. Oops. Oh, I better get my glasses. My hubby is going to be very mad if I'm not wearing my glasses while using this. He's very protective of me. Here we go. Around with the sandpaper. There we go. Now I've got my drill set up. This time I'm doing a little bit smaller drill. I used a little bit bigger drill bit for the holes in the bottom of the pots, but this one I'm just going to use a little bit smaller one. After consulting with the instructions again, I decided to switch to an even smaller drill bit. In fact, the tiniest drill bit I had. Because in the instructions they show like an auger, which I don't have, or like an ice pick. And so that's going to make a really small hole. So instead of doing a bunch of big holes, which will probably let out too much water, I'm going to start in with smaller little holes. I got all the holes in it. Unfortunately, I broke my drill bit in there. And it was because I came in at a weird angle on the bottom. But I think I got enough holes on the bottom and all along the side. And it's going to go into this one. So this one is, for some reason, just slightly smaller than the other. So it's going to go in here. And I'm probably going to put it up towards the top. And it hopefully will work. So now what I just have to do, I think, is assemble it. And I start with whichever one I'm going to put on the bottom, put soil in the bottom of that until I get up to the bottom of these holes right here, and then I'm going to start putting the strawberry plants in there. So I'm going to double check my instructions, and then if I think that's correct, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we're going to start with the top one actually to put in the reservoir. I'm going to start by putting in a bunch of soil in the bottom. I want to fill it up enough so that the reservoir's top comes up to the top of the pot. And it should be about the point where I want to start putting in strawberry plants as well. There we go. That's pretty close. I might add a little more soil before I put that in. And now to my strawberry plants. A friend of mine in the Tracy Garden Club gave me a bunch of her strawberry plants that she was trading out. And since this is my third time, this is actually also the third time she's given me strawberry plants. So she's given me strawberry plants 2 other times, and I've killed them all. So I'm really hoping these will work, that I can take care of them. So she gave me nice large clumps like this. And I got to be careful about breaking them apart, putting them in. Let me see. I wonder if I just want to stick this in like this. No. Need to get out a lot of this dirt. These strawberry plants have a lot. Hey, hi, here comes Marigold. She's going to help me. They've been very curious about what I'm doing today. So here we go. I'm going to try and put the plants and the leaves through the holes like this. Yeah, is that what you want, Marigold? So this clump has 2 or 3 actual plants in it. So I'm going to try and shove that in like that. There we go. So now we've got a couple in there. I can put that in there still. And let me find another small clump. Here's one clump with just one strawberry plant. Let me see if I can't get that through this hole down here. Oh, it goes out. Marigold, what are you up to? There. Oh, look at that. I've got plants coming out of 3 holes now. Good for me. What about this plant? Where can this plant come out? I think it can come out that hole right there. This one, I'm not sure. That's not a whole plant. I'll send that out from there. There we go. Yeah. So hopefully those will work. Just want to send some leaves out through those guys. Let me see what else I have in here. She told me there are like 3 different kinds of strawberries in here. And I don't remember what they are. Albion or some of them. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I can still get my reservoir in here. What? Here comes, oh yeah, Miss Moran's just stole a strawberry. I can tell that I'm going to have to protect this tower somehow. I'm going to have to be able to put a chicken wire around it or something to keep these guys out of there, because these guys are relentless when it comes to yummies. Oh, Marigold's got a she's eating that strawberry. She likes that. Okay, here we go. What else? Let me see if I can get this plant to go down here and out through this hole right here. Boop. I've got the reservoir in there now, so I can make sure it stays and it fits. There we go. Alright, let's see what I can do with this one. I'm going to put this one in here. There we go. Boop. Marigold, you're gonna get those? You're gonna get those strawberries? I've got a few more holes on the back. I'm not positive I can get any plants in there. If I miss a couple holes, I'm not too unhappy about that. They can go towards the back anyway. But let's see about what I can put towards the top here. I'm also worried about hurting the roots. You know, whoa, sorry, babe. So I can stick this one down here. I'm really just shoving these guys, and I may be hurting them. They may not survive this transplanting, but this, you know, maybe you can tell why I've lost all my strawberries. I don't know. There we go. This one will be better. This one can go right through here. There we go. Let's see. I've got one more hole there. I'm not going to be able to get anything through that hole. There we go. There we go. Oh, I have another hole over here. Let me see if I can find one to go over here. That's a big one. I'd like a small one. Oh, here we go. This is a tiny one. Let's see how this one works right about here. Turn around so you can see it. There. There we go. All right. Shove those leaves through there. There we go. And now I'm gonna finish putting soil on top of that. Now, I'm also thinking about throwing a couple in the top up here, come out the top, because the instructions say I'm supposed to put rocks up here on the top of the tower, but might as well throw a couple of plants up there too. This one might work. Dirt off of there. Got a little dirt in the reservoir. There we go. A little bit of dirt in here. And then the instructions say on this top one, we should be putting rocks around the top so that the, whoa! So that the dirt doesn't wash away. So I have a bucket of rocks. And I'm gonna put these on top of here. Now I want a little more dirt right there to cover those roots. There we go. I could fit another one or two in here. I feel like right in here, little ones. Here we go. That's good. That's good. I got 3. And I'm going to put some rocks up here to hold the soil in. And I'm still getting dirt into the reservoir, so let's get that out. Alright, so this looks good for the top one. Okay, let's move that out of the way so you can see it. So the top one's about done. And now I just got to do the other 3. They will not get a reservoir or the rocks, and then I will stack them up. So let's see how that works out. All right. So I actually only had enough plants to do a 3-layer tower. And this is pretty much the final result right here. And just like 2 seconds before I turned on the video, Miss Moran's came and stole that strawberry that she's eating over there right now. And Marigold is eyeing the strawberries right now. So I better get this put away somewhere where they can't get it. So the bottom one actually doesn't even have all the plants that it could have because I ran out. And so I filled up the rest of the bottom one with some rock and more soil so that the one above it could be inside it and not go down too deep. And now I think this is probably about it. It doesn't look great, but I'm going to put it somewhere. I'm going to keep it watered. I did put water into the reservoir. Let's see if I can zoom in and show you what's in there. I filled it up and it's now 2/3 of the way empty, which means the system is working. I did see where I had put this pot, I did see a wet spot underneath it, which tells me that water was getting down below it. My worry about this system is that water is not going to get all the way down to the bottom, or that if I put in enough water for it to get down to the bottom, the ones on the top might get overwatered. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I will keep that reservoir filled and will probably add extra water to it today, of course, because I've just replanted all of these strawberries and I don't want them to have too much shock. So I will do that off camera, and then I will put it into a place and then come back for a couple final words. All right, so here is my strawberry tower. It looks a little wobbly, and I'm gonna hopefully maybe bolster it a little bit, make sure it doesn't, fall over at all. I'm also gonna get some more chicken wire to put around it. I'm gonna just add to this section here of chicken wire because the chickens love to try and get in there too. And I know they're gonna try and get all these strawberries. And I don't mind them having a few, that doesn't bother me. But I'd really kind of like to have some strawberries. So I'm going to try and keep them away from it a little bit at least. So that is, and here comes Marigold now. Hi, Marigold. She's checking out. Here comes Miss Moran's. Miss Moran's is also coming to check it out. And but I'll probably add that pretty soon. Let's see, what else do I want to say? This project really hits a lot of permaculture principles and permaculture ways of doing things, like reusing these plastic planters for a really good use. They've been sitting in my shed along with like another 100 different kinds of little planters. So it's nice to be able to reuse them and so they don't hit the waste stream. It's also kind of multifunctional because it saves this kind of space. It makes it a nice tower, which allows for more space for other things around it. And it has a very efficient system with the reservoir to water it. And I'm going to really hope that that system actually works. So time will tell. Hopefully, if this thing doesn't fail, I will give you an update. You can tell I don't always give updates on things that fail. But I will try and do that. I will try and give you an update on this strawberry tower and let you know how it works. And again, I will put the link to the instructions, the article, in the description so you can have that. Anything else today? I am excited to be able to keep working in my garden and in permaculture, and I'm still loving the principles, and I'm loving learning and growing every time I do a new project. And I hope that that is something that's really engaging to you guys as well. Please let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see. There goes Marigold into my potatoes. I'm going to have to get her out. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see more of from the garden. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the update that I did recently too, to see the entire garden. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really appreciative of everybody who's out there watching. And you guys have a great spring. Spring is slowly moving into summer, so it's going to get to be really hot out here. Hopefully you guys will stay cool during that time. So you guys take care, and God bless. Come on, Marigold. You're not supposed to be in there. How am I going to keep you out of here? How am I going to keep you